Emily froze. The styrofoam cup slipped from her hand, hot chocolate splashing onto the pavement. The small girl in front of her, wrapped in a tattered coat, stared up with wide hazel eyes. Eyes Emily had memorized in photographs, eyes she never thought she'd see again. Her breath hitched as she reached for the child's wrist. And there it was, a tiny crescent-shaped birthmark. It was impossible. 3 years. 3 years of agony, searching, questioning, hoping. 3 years since she had lost her daughter. Emily's knees buckled. Lily! The name barely left her lips. The little girl's lip trembled. She sniffled, her cheeks flushed from the cold. You are my mom. Tears blurred Emily's vision. The world around her, the bustling city, the biting winter air, faded into silence. All that mattered was the child before her. Lily. Her Lily. Emily's hands trembled as she cupped Lily's face, her fingers brushing against cold, chapped skin. The little girl shivered, her coat barely protecting her from the biting wind. How are you here? Emily's voice cracked. Where have you been? Lily's small shoulders lifted in a shrug. I don't know. I just remember waking up one day, and you weren't there anymore. Emily felt like the ground beneath her had vanished. 3 years ago, her daughter had gone missing. The police had searched, posters had been plastered across the city, but there had been no sign of her. Emily had spent every waking moment drowning in grief, haunted by what ifs. Now, against all odds, Lily stood before her. Emily pulled off her coat and wrapped it around Lily's tiny body, her heart breaking at how thin she was. Are you alone? Where is your father? Lily hesitated, her little hands gripping the edges of the oversized coat. A man took me. Emily's stomach twisted. What man? I don't know, Lily whispered. He told me you didn't want me anymore, that I had to stay with him. But he was mean, so I ran away. Emily sucked in a sharp breath, her mind racing. Someone had stolen her child, lied to her, made her believe she was abandoned. And now, for 3 years, Lily had been living on the streets. Her baby. Alone. Emily wiped at her eyes, determination hardening inside her. Come with me, sweetheart. I'm taking you home. But as she took Lily's hand, a shadow fell over them. A deep voice rumbled behind her. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Emily spun around, her heart pounding. A tall man in a dark coat stood just a few feet away, his face partially hidden beneath a beanie. His piercing blue eyes locked onto Lily with a look that made Emily's blood run cold. Lily gasped and clutched Emily's hand tighter. It's him, she whimpered. The man who took me. Emily's breath came out in short bursts. Fear clawed at her throat, but a mother's instinct overrode it. She stepped protectively in front of Lily. Who are you? She demanded. The man smirked. I was hoping she wouldn't remember me. Rage surged through Emily. You stole my daughter. She's not yours anymore, he said casually, as if discussing a lost pet. She's mine now. Emily's hands curled into fists. Over my dead body. The man took a step forward, but before he could get any closer, a voice rang out. Hey! What's going on here? A police officer stood at the end of the alley, watching them with sharp eyes. The man tensed. Emily seized the moment. Officer! This man kidnapped my daughter. The officer's expression hardened. Sir, I need you to stay where you are. But the man bolted. Emily didn't hesitate. She scooped Lily into her arms and ran toward the officer. The next few hours passed in a blur. The police took Emily and Lily to the station, where she gave a full statement. Lily, exhausted, clung to Emily, refusing to let go. A detective came into the room with a solemn expression. Miss Carter, we ran the fingerprints of the suspect from a previous arrest. His name is Robert Grayson. He has a history of human trafficking. Emily's breath hitched. You have to find him. The detective nodded. We will. But for now, you and Lily are safe. If the word had never felt so foreign. Emily pulled Lily closer, pressing a kiss to her forehead. I'll never let anyone take you again. Lily buried her face in her mother's shoulder. I knew you'd find me. Tears slipped down Emily's cheeks. I never stopped looking, baby. Never. But deep down, she knew this wasn't over. Robert Grayson was still out there. And he wasn't done with them yet. Emily didn't sleep that night. Every creak of the floorboards, every shadow outside her window sent her heart racing. Lily was finally back in her arms, but the terror of losing her again refused to fade. She lay in bed, Lily curled up beside her, clutching her shirt like she was afraid Emily would disappear. Emily ran her fingers through her daughter's tangled hair, pressing a silent promise into every touch. Then her phone buzzed. She hesitated before reaching for it. Unknown number. Her stomach dropped. With shaking hands she answered. A low voice slithered through the line. Did you really think this was over? Emily's blood turned to ice. Robert. I will get her back, he whispered. She belongs to me now. Emily clenched her jaw. You will never touch my daughter again. His laughter sent chills down her spine. You can't watch her every second of every day. I will find her. The line went dead. Emily's breath came in ragged gasps. She pulled Lily closer, her mind spinning. She needed help. She needed someone who could protect them. The next morning, Emily walked into the police station with Lily's small hand gripped tightly in hers. Detective Ryan Carter looked up from his desk, his sharp blue eyes narrowing in concern. Emily! She hadn't seen him in years, not since their messy breakup, but right now the past didn't matter. I need your help, she said. Robert called me. Ryan shot to his feet. What? She nodded, swallowing hard. He's coming for Lily. Ryan's jaw tightened. Then we'll make sure he never gets the chance. Ryan arranged for them to stay in a safe house under police protection. But Emily knew Robert wasn't the type to back down. I want to be the bait, she told Ryan that night. He frowned. Emily, that's insane. He won't stop, she insisted. He's watching us, waiting for his moment. We need to lure him out. Ryan sighed, rubbing a hand over his face. You really haven't changed. Emily crossed her arms. That's why you loved me, remember? A ghost of a smile flickered across his lips. It's why I still do. Her breath caught, but before she could say anything, Ryan's phone rang. He answered, his expression darkening. Then he turned to Emily. They found him. Robert had been spotted at a motel on the outskirts of town. He's waiting for his chance, Ryan said. But we'll give him one. Emily swallowed hard. You mean? Ryan nodded. We set the trap. And we end this. That night, Emily went to the diner where she worked, pretending life was normal. Lily was safe, hidden with officers nearby. Then, just as expected, Robert walked in. His eyes locked onto hers, a slow smile stretching across his face. Hello, Emily. Emily's pulse pounded. You should leave. Robert chuckled, sliding into a booth. Now, why would I do that? She clenched her fists. You're not getting Lily back. Robert leaned forward. You're right, he said. Because she was never yours to begin with. Emily's breath hitched. What? He smirked. You really think she's your daughter? He laughed. You were so easy to manipulate. That birthmark. Coincidence. The resemblance. Just lucky. Your daughter is long gone. Emily's world tilted. No. You're lying. He shrugged. Believe what you want. Her knees buckled. Had she been clinging to a ghost? But before she could react, Robert reached into his coat. A gun. A shot rang out. Then another. Robert's body jerked before he collapsed onto the table. Ryan stood behind him, gun raised, breathing hard. Emily let out a strangled sob. It's over, Ryan said. But Emily couldn't stop shaking. If Robert was telling the truth, had she just lost Lily all over again? DNA results came a week later. Ryan sat beside her, the envelope in his hands. Emily clenched her fists. Just say it. Ryan exhaled. Emily. Lily is your daughter. Her heart stopped. What? He was lying, Ryan said softly. She's yours. Tears poured down Emily's face. Relief, love, and overwhelming gratitude flooded her. She ran to Lily's room, scooping her up in her arms. You're mine, she whispered. Forever. Lily giggled, wrapping her arms around Emily's neck. I told you, Mommy. Emily laughed through her tears. And for the first time in 3 years, she finally felt whole again.